Hey everyone, this is Pittsburgh Liberal, and I'm going to be making my first video here on my YouTube channel. And I have tried to revamp this channel to try to get more views and try to spread my message out and make my message sharper and try to find ways to get this channel out. Now, a quick introduction before I begin with my first topic. This is a spin-off off of my other channel, Pittsburgh Sean. On here, though, we are going to be talking about more serious issues, current events, and politics especially. I do want to come right out and say that I am a liberal. I am an unaffiliated liberal. You can check that on record. I can provide a link to the PA voting services if you do not believe me. However, I am an unaffiliated, which means an independent. I was a Democrat, left the Democratic Party. I do want to come right out and say that this this channel is going to be biased towards liberal causes. I am going to be talking a lot about jobs. I'm going to be talking about the economy and different issues like that. I am also a geek about the elections. So I will be having a lot of videos on the election. However, like I said, I will begin to that in a little bit. However, in this video, I'm going to start out with something I think is very appropriate, and it's a conversation that I think the Democrats and liberals and unaffiliated leaning or Democratic leaning unaffiliated voters need to be having right now on President Barack Obama, and if we should be supporting him again for another term in 2012. I think this is a very relevant subject, especially for some of the election videos I will be doing here in a little bit. I think we need to be having this. I think this is a very important discussion, especially since on the other side of the aisle, there are some pretty bad candidates out there on the Republican side. You have Rick Perry, who said that he wants to make government as inconsequential as possible in our lives. You have Michelle Bachmann, who basically said that Hurricane Irene was a message from God saying we need to cut more spending. You have people like that running the show that are extremely, extremely dangerous, and I think these people are electable because Barack Obama is just not what he was cracked up to be, and that's going to be the subject here tonight. I want to start out by saying that I did vote for Barack Obama in 2008. I did not support him originally. However, I will admit that I am not good at picking presidential candidates. In 2004, I thought Howard Dean was the guy. Still thought he was the guy, but he had the thing that happened in Iowa, and his presidential campaign just fell completely apart. Then in 2008, I supported John Edwards, and as you can see, I don't think I need to get into that for how much of a scumbag he ended up being. However, in the end, I voted for Barack Obama because I was sick of President George W. Bush. I was sick of the entire Republican Party and how they've ran the show for several years and everything like that. I think it was a terrible presidency. In fact, I think it was probably one of the worst presidencies, along with Richard Nixon, Herbert Hoover, and different people like that in at least the modern history of our great republic. However, this president just has not been effective, and I think the very first display of that, and people debate this, but I think the very first display of that was when we had the big debate on the stimulus plan that we had back in 2009. I think he was relatively weak in his leadership then, because what he did is when we did the stimulus package, he basically gave that to Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid to write. And basically, it was more of a bill that just provided their caucus with a bunch of goodies and not actual job creating proposals. So basically, he punted it off, and we had a very hard time getting the stimulus bill passed through both chambers of Congress. Then came the healthcare bill, which turned into the individual mandate, which is basically what Mitt Romney proposed in Massachusetts, who is one of the leading contenders for the Republican nomination. It started out being what they call, the Democrats called the public option, and I put that in quotes, although what it really should have been called by the Democrats is expanded Medicare. However, the Democrats don't know how to use talking points, and therefore they screwed up the messaging. Then we had the death panels and the healthcare town halls, and it was a terrible summer in 2010. Healthcare ended up passing, I think, in 2010, 2009, I think, were the town halls. I mix it up. But the healthcare bill passed, but unfortunately it was a Republican plan and not a very solid Democratic plan. And besides, the healthcare was still not the number one issue in our country. It was still jobs. So then you had 2010 come along. The Republicans were voted in, were swept into power, gained 63 seats in the House, gained 7 seats in the Senate. So then Obama caved, gave the Republicans the extension of the Obama-Bush tax cuts, and I am going to call it the Obama-Bush tax cuts. I am sorry, Obama bots, if you are offended by that, because that's what it is. Obama really vigorously pushed and bullied liberals around in order to get his way on extending the tax cuts. And therefore, you had the tax cut deal in December, which was a disaster, as you can clearly see here in our economy. That's another sign he weakened, another sign that he caved, another sign that he capitulated, and another sign that he is a weak, spineless, gutless leader who just does not know how to be president. Okay, so you had that terrible deal, and then you had these other symbolic nothing proposals that were passed during the lame duck session. I think most of them are useless, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, now we go to the debt ceiling debate, and I did make a video on my Pittsburgh Sean channel about the debt ceiling debate and how I thought Barack Obama was actually learning how to fight. He was boxing Republicans in the corners. He is going to get everything he wanted, just like Lawrence O'Donnell said on the show, but then again, he let us down. He blinked, he capitulated, and he showed again that he is a weak, spineless, gutless worm. And that's all he is, and that's all he's good for. And that's unfortunate, too, because he is a Democratic president that I voted for in 2008, and he has turned out to be a complete and total failure, a complete and total weak-minded, spineless, gutless president, and it is a shame, and I think we need to be having a discussion here tonight if it is time that we give up on this presidency. I think it is a discussion we need to have. It is a discussion I'm hearing some people on the left starting to have. In the LA Times today, there was a story about Hillary Clinton being the primary challenger to Barack Obama, that she'd quit her Secretary of State position and run in the primary against Barack Obama. Now, a lot of other people on the left would not like that. A lot of people want to see Bernie Sanders. Dennis Kucinich's name popped out there. Alan Grayson to an extent. Howard Dean to an extent. And different people like that. However, let me make myself very clear in my opinion as to what I think. Now, do I think Obama, that we need to give up on him? Yes. Okay? I think it is time that the Democrats, the Democratic-leaning independents, and the liberals and progressives need to say, enough's enough. We need to give up on this guy. We need to give up on him. He is weak. He is spineless. He gives up too easily. He is a wimp. Okay? We need to give up on him. That's my position. I am sticking to it. We need to give up on him because this is a sinking ship that we are on right now as liberal supporters. We are on a sinking ship, and I don't care who the Republican nominee is, but mark my words, if Rick Perry, Michelle Bachmann, Mitt Romney, or anyone else get the nomination, they will beat Barack Obama. They will beat Barack Obama. They will win in Michigan. They will win in Iowa. They might win in Wisconsin. They will win a couple of the West states back. They will win possibly Pennsylvania. They will get North Carolina, Florida, and Virginia back. They are going to win the election, okay? If Barack Obama's the nominee, we're done, okay? However, the problem is with some of the people, and like I said, they're on my Facebook. I see them on Facebook, on different groups, and on my friends list. There are people saying that the answer is Kucinich, the answer is Sanders, the answer is these very liberal progressive members who I pretty much agree totally with. However, and there's even one person, I think a Facebook friend of mine, not going to say the name, but a Facebook friend of mine said that Republicans are flocking to Dennis Kucinich, that they are flocking to him, that they are running to him in droves. And that is completely false. That is completely wrong, because guess what? The right wing, believe it or not, think Obama is a liberal. Even though I don't think he is, I don't at all. But the right wing thinks Obama's a liberal. So Dennis Kucinich, compared to Obama, Dennis Kucinich is even more left than Obama. So what do you think they're going to think of him? He's probably some pure socialist communist. I mean, that's probably what they think of Dennis Kucinich. So why in the hell would they flock to him? That is a problem, and I think we need to get that out of our minds right now. Okay, so let me make that clear. Kucinich, Sanders, Grayson, and any of those people that run, if they get the nomination, would get crushed even worse than Obama. Now, the LA Times reported that Hillary Clinton is being looked at as the answer. Now, in my opinion, Hillary Clinton, right now her approval ratings as Secretary of State are in the 60 percentile, which is actually pretty good. Now, according to Nate Silver from 538, I think that's the website, now with the New York Times, he says basically that it don't matter who the nominee is, it's going to be no different right now than what we got right now with this president. Now, maybe that's true. However, we as liberals, we as progressives, I think the answer still is to give up on this president because he's given up. Now, I think we need pragmatic politics here. Okay, I'm going to be very clear about that. I think I'm going to isolate a bunch of liberals out there. I think we need to be pragmatic, and I think we need to approach stuff at a pragmatic view. Okay? We need to be able to compromise, but however, that does not mean giving up. And that's what Obama did. He's given up. He hasn't compromised, and that's why the liberals are pissed at him. Hillary Clinton would not capitulate. She would concede stuff, she would compromise, but she would not quit like this failure of a president has. And I think Hillary, with her approval ratings, is the last hope in 2012. Otherwise, we are going to have to sit back and we are going to have to revamp, retool, and wait until 2016 when the Republicans do fail, and they will fail, okay? The Republicans will fail. Their policy prescription will fail. However, we will have to sit back and we will have to revamp in 2016. So it is up to us. I'm running out of time right now. So it is up to us to decide. Do we want to try the last best hope now? Or do you want to wait until 2014 and 16 when we have the elections and the midterms and the presidential? That is up to you, and I am leaving you on that note. Thanks for watching. More videos on the economy and the elections are coming up soon. Thanks for watching this channel.